Nori with Hockey East, and today I have the pleasure of sitting down with Morgan Wabick, a forward on the UConn women's hockey team. So Morgan, you returned to campus this year for your senior year, but obviously it hasn't gone quite as expected. So how has the adjustment been for you coming back to campus and then adjusting along with the new COVID-19 protocol?
Yeah, so for me as a senior, I don't think it's as difficult as if I were a freshman or a sophomore, let's say, but things have been different. We've been slow to get back into things. We just started lifting and practicing this week, so that's been good to get back into the swing of things.
What have classes been like for you so far? I know for me that we're doing a hybrid, some are online and some are in person. Is that the same thing that you're doing?
For myself and for a lot of the seniors, I know most of them are online. And then for me, I have one in-person class on Tuesdays to Thursdays. So yeah, I have an in-person class, but other than that, they're all online pretty much.
Do you have to go through any COVID testing every week, or how are they keeping track of that for you?
So when I got here, I got tested a few times, but other than that, I haven't been tested again, but we do get our temperature taken before we go into the building, and then we have to fill out this online survey every time we go into a building.
So you mentioned resocialization, the process of just kind of easing back into working out and skating and stuff like that. So how has, that transition been for you and your team, finding out how you can start working out again?
I think it's been a tough experience for all of us. So we're just working out and skating in our pods right now and just trying to go slow back into things and, finding our groove. And I think that's been a good way to do it.
Now, do you live with a few of your teammates?
I live with my sister. It's two of us. And then there's another senior and one of our juniors that lives next door. So we're a pod of four together. So we've been kind of hanging out since we got back.
Okay, that's perfect. I think it's funny you mentioned your sister, an identical twin sister who plays on the same hockey team as you. How has that been for you? It's probably been your whole life, right?
Yeah, and I think I've had a different experience because of it, because coming in as a freshman, if I were alone, I think it'd be kind of tough. Whereas my twin, I have her she's always with me. I always have someone to do stuff with. So that's been really helpful, having someone that I know here and doing everything with.
Right. Siblings are your lifelong friend, so it's perfect. Something funny that I'm sure all your coaches and teachers run into is telling you two apart. So, what's the key to telling Morgan and Taylor Wabick apart?
I don't really know. I get that question a lot. I think just as you get to know us, it's very easy to tell us apart. But on the ice, I'm lefty, she's righty. You can also tell by our numbers, but I don't know. It's kind of a tough question to ask, really.
Now you're both from Winnipeg, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not very close. So how was the recruiting process for you two? Did you decide that you both wanted to come to UConn, or what was that like for both of you as hockey players?
Yeah. So we talked about it, and we wanted to go somewhere together. That was a big thing for us. And then for our recruiting process, we played on a travel kind of team in grade 9 of high school. So that's how we kind of started talking to Chris McKenzie, our coach. And then we just kind of fell in love with the coaching staff. But we've never visited the campus before we came here, so that was kind of interesting.
Really? So what was your first impression when you came in? Were you we should have come before, we committed, or were you?
No, I think we had a good experience. We came for our official in April of 2017, and we loved it.
Chris McKenzie, he's actually one of the most animated coaches in the league. I've never personally played for him, but we hear all about him. So what makes him such a great coach?
He's very energetic, and he always brings the energy to practices and games, which is a very good quality he has. I think if he's bringing the energy, then that just motivates everyone to, try their best in practices and bring the energy ourselves. I don't know. He's very good. He has balance between being serious and being light and having fun.
Now, he was the one who came up with the idea of Wobby Wednesday. So this was a little feature that you and your sister did every Wednesday. It was like a 2-3 minute long video, just doing fun interactive things with you and your teammates. So walk me through the process of how that began to unfold, and what was your reaction when you found out that Wobby Wednesday was going to be introduced?
They wanted to do like some weekly interviews or weekly segments on anybody on our team. So we picked us, and we were doing Wobby Wednesdays, and we kind of said, all right, maybe it'll be fun. We'll see how it goes. We're not too big on the camera, like I said, but they ended up being a hit, and everyone liked it.
Who comes up with the ideas for you?
Yeah, so Caitlin Parker, our assistant coach, she comes up with the games and stuff. She's got a lot of good ones.
I actually spoke with her earlier this week, and she said that she was recruited to be your camera woman for a bunch of these Wobby Wednesdays. She said she filmed most of them on her personal iPhone. So I think that's kind of fun. You have your own little camera crew behind the scenes.
Yeah, we've done a lot of takes on her phone.
It sounds like you need a blooper reel next.
Yeah.
I guess going back to your season last year, you had, a great season. You took strides from your sophomore year to your junior year. You had 8 goals and 13 assists for 21 points, tied with your sister on the team. So how do you feel like your season went last year? How do you feel like you developed?
I think since the beginning of last year, I did improve. And since freshman year, for sure, I've improved. But I would like to see myself be more of an offensive threat. I'm a winger, so I would be reliable on the boards and getting the puck out. So I think I was really good in the defensive zone, but I would like to see myself be more of an offensive threat.
Do you think that because you grew up playing with Taylor, who is a defenseman, do you think having that perspective and growing up and developing with her, do you think that helps you be defensive minded but also more of a forward at the same time?
I think so. When we were younger, I did play defense for a bit, and she played forward, so we kind of like switched.
You swapped.
Yeah, but having her on the D side of things and myself on the forward side of things, I think that helps. That helps a lot. And when she's out there and when I'm out there with her, I know where she's going to be all the time, and I think that really helps our play on ice.
Coach Caitlin Parker mentioned that you two were on the power play unit together last year, and she said, I don't know how they do it. I think twin telepathy might be a thing, but they know where each other is going to be every single time, and it makes you guys like such a threat on the power play unit. So I thought that was kind of interesting that you two have that dynamic. How do you play together? Has there been competition between you two, or has it always been like a really nice relationship?
I think a little bit of both, mostly like a nice relationship, but it does help having someone there to compete with, but also to like hype each other up. But yeah, I don't think it's really a competition, I'd say, because she's defense and I'm forward, and like we have different responsibilities. But I say it's been a good balance, both.
Yeah, and you mentioned that you want to be a little more, I guess, aggressive as a winger.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find yourself to be more of a pass first kind of player? Do you set your teammates up a lot? Go ahead.
I think I'm a pass first kind of player. I don't really like to shoot, but I think I do have a good shot, and my coaches are always saying to shoot the puck more, but I do find myself passing and wanting to be the playmaker out there.
Well, that's something that your coach said to me, that it's easy to play with you because you make everyone else around you that much better. She said you have a really good hockey sense, knowing, when to hold the puck, when to pass it, or if you have the shot, take the shot. So how is it playing with your teammates? Do you play consistently on the same line, or have you developed chemistry with specific players? How is it for you?
I've been with a lot of different people over the years. In playoffs last year, though, I did play with Danny Fox. She was my center. I really like playing with her. She's very fast. She's very quick. She gets the puck out. She does everything really well. And then I played with Jessie Annie. She was our tennis transfer last year, so that was cool kind of to play with her. They're both very good, I think. And then I did play with Natalie Stongrass for a bit. she kind of alternated between center and winger, but I played with her for a bit, and I really like playing with all three of them. Each of us brings a good qualities to the ice when we play together. Yeah, so I guess it doesn't really matter who I play with.
You can play with everyone. That makes you a good
Yeah.
player, a good teammate. You mentioned playoffs last year. I know that, UConn had a successful season. Unfortunately, the season ended at the Hockey East Championship against Northeastern. But do you view that as kind of a learning experience, or do you kind of, you want to get back out there and, take that back?
Yeah, I think a little bit of both. I think it was like a tough way to end our season, but it's a good learning experience, especially for our freshmen last year, and even as seniors this year. But yeah, I think everybody really wants to get back out there and try and be better.
You are a senior. You've been an upperclassman now. This will be your second year. So you have a leadership role. How do you think that you can develop into that and help your team succeed?
I think I'm more of a lead by example kind of person, and just like in practices, just holding everybody accountable, and just maybe like in workouts and practices, just being that person that they can come talk to if they need.
So something Coach Caitlin Parker kept talking about was the family atmosphere and the family bond that you have built around the UConn women's program. What can you say about that? Do you think it's a special bond between your group?
Yeah, I think we have a really good, tight-knit bond between all of us. I know it's been kind of difficult this year to get to know our freshmen, but in the past years, we've always been like a really tight group. All the girls get along really well together, and it's a good time.
Well, I think that concludes all of my questions. Thank you so much for your time. Good luck this year, and I hope to see you soon.
Thank you for having me.